It's a 30-minute express escape. Get a dose of destination knowledge, inspiration, and storytelling, showcasing phenomenal travel opportunities. I'm your host and number one travel expert. I'm destinationwhatever.com. So, what's the furthest that you've ever walked? Because lately, for me, that feels like from the couch to the fridge while I'm binge watching shows over the holidays. And it's 2025, it's a new year, so it's time to think about our bodies and walking and expanding our minds and all that good stuff. And with that said, I've planned a speaker today that is we love Hilary. We love G Adventures. It enchants us so much with the options they have around the world. So Hilary's here tonight because she's done the Camino Santiago. And that's a pilgrimage, but it's not just for religion. You can do it for a bunch of reasons. Maybe it's a goal, or maybe you just like Spanish tapas. Whatever it is, I think Hilary's going to show us some content tonight that's going to really speak to us. And so Hilary is with G Adventures, so she's going to take us on this great journey and just tell us what's new, what's cooking over at G Adventures. So Hilary, welcome tonight.
Thank you.
Hola.
Ola's a good word to learn before you go to Spain. Well, as Dave had mentioned, my name is Hilary and I am here with G Adventures. And I was able to do the Camino de Santiago last year, and it was an amazing experience for me. So let's go ahead and kick it off with a little bit about who G Adventures is. So we are a Canadian tour operator. We do small group tours all around the world, usually a maximum of 16 people on our itineraries. We travel to all seven continents, over 100 countries, and we have over 800 different tours to choose from because we have lots of different travel styles depending on what works for you and what you're looking for. So a few reasons why you'll love us. As I had mentioned, it is maximum 16 people on our itineraries. Usually there is less people, so our average is about 12, and it's all guaranteed departures. So as long as one person's booked on the tour, it's good to go. And if ever you want to set up a private group, you can reach out to Dave. The minimum for a private group is 8 people. So you can grab 7 of your closest friends or family members, and he can have you on your way to an amazing adventure. We do also offer locally based guides. So this is included in every single one of our tours. We actually call them CEOs, which is Chief Experience Officer. And because they're local, they know the destination like the back of their hand. They know all the best places to eat, all the best things to see, and the best timings as well to go see those things. So they really do make the tour what it is. Flexibility and freedom. So, of course, during the itinerary, there's a lot of stuff included, but we always make sure to include free time in our itinerary so you can really make the tour what you want it to be. So, during your free time, if you want to jam pack it with more activities, you absolutely can. And if you just want to sit back and relax a little bit, sip on a little glass of wine, then you can definitely do that too. We're also built to support local communities. So, with that, we use a lot of local services on tour with us. So, we're making sure that the money spent in destination stays in destination to profit those local communities. We're talking about locally owned accommodations, again, those local guides, locally sourced meals as well when it comes to restaurants. So, with that, let's go ahead and jump into the Camino de Santiago. So, here at G Adventures, we actually offer two options for the Camino de Santiago. They're essentially the same, except for one of them does include a couple of days in Madrid and the train from Madrid up to Sarria, whereas the other one starts in Sarria. So we'll go over those two different options there. But it just depends if you want to spend some time in Madrid or if you just want to get in, do the walk, and get out. So this one here is the itinerary for the Encompassed. Like I had mentioned, you do spend a couple of days in Madrid at the beginning of the tour, and then you'll take an included train ride up to Sarria. And Sarria is really going to be your starting point city for the Camino de Santiago. So what we do here at G Adventures is we walk the last 110 or so kilometers of the Camino. We are doing the Spanish way. So it does take about 6 days of walking. And then you finally end up in Santiago de Compostela. But we'll see some pictures of that later because really it is, as Dave had mentioned, a pilgrimage, but it's not necessarily just religious. It's very spiritual. It's very active, you can say as well, because you are doing a lot of walking. But I wouldn't say it's too difficult either. So as I had seen on the map here, the other option, it just doesn't include that Madrid section. It just starts in Sarria and ends in Santiago de Compostela, but I'll have that map for that one later on as well. So whichever one works best for you. So on that, days 1 and day 2 will be in Madrid. You'll be able to have a included city tour with that CEO. So that chief experience officer, local guide will be able to show you around Madrid, show you the best sights to see, the best places to eat. And it's kind of a nice, relaxing, adventurous way to start off the Camino with a lot of city walking. Of course, you do want to walk around when you're there. Day 3 would then be Sarria. So you are taking that train from Madrid to Sarria. Again, that is included in the itinerary, and the guide is going to be with you for that as well. So you don't need to be worry about getting off at the wrong train station or missing the train or anything like that. We've definitely got you covered. And then Sarria is a sweet little town. There's a lot of stuff to kind of see and do just easily walking around, going along the river that's there, all the different tapas and all the different Spanish food, of course. The north of Spain does have a very specific cuisine. So a lot of it, of course, is wine. It was actually cheaper than water when I was there. So it's hard to choose the water over the wine when you're doing all the walking. But also, octopus is really big over there. So if you do like octopus, that's a great place to go. If you don't like octopus, don't worry, there's other options. So for Saria, this here is one of the main churches that's there. There's a lot of little ones all around the town. Pretty much in every street corner, you'll see sweet little churches like this. And these are kind of just different views of what Saria has to offer. Again, this is going to be the starting city for just the Camino de Santiago, not the encompassed. So here's a group picture. You even get to take a picture with the big Saria sign to really start off your Camino, kick it off on a good way. Now we go on to day 4. So this one here is going to be your first walking day. You're going to be walking from Sarria to Porto Marin, which is about 23 kilometers. Now I'll talk a little bit about what to expect day to day for the walking because a lot of it is the same every day. It just ranges in different kilometers. So everyone is at their own pace, which is amazing. The CEO, that local guide, at the beginning of every day and at the end of every day will tell you what the plan is, and they'll even send it to you in a message so you can have it on your phone when you're walking. You know when the stops are. It really is all at your own pace. The guide usually will go at the back, so if there is anybody who's a bit slower or needs some help or anything like that, they'll be there for them. Otherwise, go at your own pace. There's so many cute little towns. There's so many restaurants, cafes, wineries that you can stop at along the way. And because everything is at your own pace, you definitely have the luxury to do that. So if you want to walk 5 kilometers, sit down, have a little coffee, walk another 5 kilometers, sit down, have a little cake, walk another 5 kilometers, sit down, have a little glass of wine or something like that, you definitely can. So you can break up your day as you see fit. And yeah, you just kind of keep walking. The walking itself isn't too difficult. There's some uphills, some downhills, but it's not a mountainous region. It is going through little towns. It's going through fields. It's going through farms. It's some of them is close to the road, but a lot of it is kind of in the forest or the wilderness. So you'll see a few pictures of that coming up. So this is going to be one of your longest days, the 23 kilometers. The first 2 days are long. The third day is short, and then the fourth day is long, and then the last day is short, just to kind of give you an idea of it. But once you're walking, it kind of all blends together because you know that you're walking from point A to point B. You'll see these signs on the side of the trail along the way. So it is showing you the way to go. There's the little seashell, which is kind of the sign of the Camino, and the arrow to show you which way to go. Because, of course, once you get to those little towns, then you might get lost if you go the wrong way. But don't worry, these will definitely put you right back on path. And they're very easy to follow. I can confidently say that nobody in our group got lost. So very easy that way. And then you'll see a lot of not memorabilia, but things that really speak to the Camino. So you'll see a lot of walking sticks, you'll see a lot of shells, you'll see a lot of dried gourds. So these are all things that you can get along the way if you want. You see a lot of other people walking that have it attached to their backpacks. You know that they're all doing the Camino de Santiago and they're not just out for their afternoon walk. And you'll see a lot of great signs too, just kind of cheering you on. And it really never is a down day when you're on there because everyone who's around you is all giving very positive energy. Like everyone's doing the same pilgrimage to end up at the same place, of course. So these are all views that you can see on that first day of walking. Now from Porto Marin to Palas de Rey is 22 kilometers. So this is going to be your day 5 of the tour if you start in Madrid, but your day two of hiking, or walking, I guess you can say. So Puerto Marin, you'll have some time once you arrive that evening before, and you'll have a little bit of time in the morning as well. Very cute little town. I know you've just walked all day, but even exploring these town by foot at a more leisurely pace is definitely worth it. You can take in all the scenery too as you are walking, but seeing the different churches or seeing what's happening in each city is definitely something very special. I know when I was here, we had seen kind of a trailer pop up magic show. So, of course, we walked in to go take part of it just to kind of be part of the local culture and whatever festivities they are having that day. So, definitely something to look forward to. And if it is a hot day, this area also has a nice pool that you can go soak into after if you would like. These are also more images of things that you'll be able to see along the way. As I had mentioned, you're kind of going through different regions. So you're going through forests, as you can see in this image. You'll go through farmers' fields. You'll go along the road. So just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Some of them are sandy images. One of them literally looked like the yellow brick road. So when I was there, I was like, okay, click my heels together. But I wasn't ready to go home. And then, as I had mentioned, your day three of hiking is going to be a shorter day. So we'll give those legs a little bit of a rest. So Palestere to Melide, which is 15 kilometers. So again, you are taking your time. There's absolutely no rush. You know the start point, you know where you're all having lunch, and you know what the end point. And even if you decide not to have lunch as a group, if you want to have it on your own, or if you just want to keep going, that is completely up to you. If at any point the walking gets too much, you can take a taxi to go to the next hotel and meet the group there. So don't think just because you signed up for it, you're forced into it, but I highly recommend pushing through if you can, because it is very, very rewarding after each day. So more lovely food. This is the octopus that I was mentioning that's very famous over there. So they kind of take it whole, they boil it, they chop it up, and they drizzle it with olive oil and some special spices. So very tasty. And then more kind of showing the way to go. You'll hear me say the way a lot because that's also what it's called. This is kind of an example of one of the cute little restaurants that you can stop at along the way. Again, you can really stop at any one of them if you think, hey, this one looks nice, great, we'll go. Or hey, that has a nice patio. There's no rules against anywhere that you want to stop. Next up, we have another short day, which is 13 kilometers, Melida to Arzua. And you'll see that even though every day is slightly different with the surrounding areas that you're walking through, it's all really a great time to kind of self reflect or even talk to other travelers, not necessarily just the ones from your group, but even everyone around you. And they'll want to talk to you because a lot of them have been doing longer versions of the Camino or different versions of the Camino. I know when we were there, we met someone who was on his fifth time doing the Camino. So it really is special for some people, and you might find your own kind of touch to it as well. This one here is one of the very famous spots on the Camino. A lot of people will take pictures of this river crossing because, of course, there's these big boulders that you can kind of ferry hop across. And then more arrows showing you where to go, more little towns, and even the local people, like they know that there's a lot of travelers going through. They know that everyone's on this pilgrimage. They know that everyone is going to Santiago de Compostela, and they're also happy to have you there. They're happy to help. They cheer you on. They're just all very friendly. So not just your fellow travelers, not just the other people on the Camino, but also the locals. Next up is we have another long day, but don't worry, this is your last long day. This is 26 kilometers. So this is Arzua to Amenal. And I think at most it took us maybe 6 hours for the longest one, which really, if you think about it, if I'm hiking with a purpose, I usually do about 5 kilometers an hour. But for this one, you really do get to take your time, which is really nice. And then you do leave early in the morning, not too early, so the sun is already risen. You don't have to go ahead and have your headlamps out or anything like that. You'll be able to have a really great breakfast included at the hotel. So they really make sure to get you ready. I always say bring some extra snacks in your bag just in case you want to have snacks. But honestly, with all the cafes and restaurants along the way that you'll probably not even end up eating them. You'll probably stop every time you want a little local snack or something like that. So that one's definitely going to be one of the longer days, but it's going to bring you to Amanal, which is going to be your last leg of the trip because on day 9 of this tour or day 7 of the other tour, it is going to be Amanal to Santiago de Compostela. So you're almost there. You have 14 kilometers left, and it really is the last stretch. So it's really fun because a lot of the markers that you'll see as you're walking will show you how many kilometers out you are from Santiago de Compostela. So there are some that'll say like, okay, 100 kilometers. And then as you go, it's counting down and down and down. So you can even take pictures with them every noteworthy number. And as you're getting closer to Santiago de Compostela, you'll see it is a little bit more of a city, not a huge city like we might be used to. I'm from Toronto, so definitely not like that. Not even like Halifax. So definitely a smaller city, but there'll be more signs of it. And then once you do get to Santiago de Compostela, you'll be able to take celebratory pictures with the cathedral that is there. And the cathedral itself is also worth a visit. On the inside, there is a whole section that is just gold. And a lot of the times they do different celebrations there where they have all these different priests, and it's open to everybody. So even if you're not religious, even if you're not Catholic, they still welcome everybody. They just ask that you don't go up for communion. So definitely worth the visit, even just to go look inside and see how they operate it and everything. So that's kind of a little sneak peek. It really is massive, massive cathedral, just to give you an idea. So I was actually here when they were doing these large incense things, and I couldn't help but laugh because there's 5 priests pulling these cords to have the incense swing back and forth in the cathedral because there's so many people there and it is so large that they had that. But that's also a very special thing to see. A lot of people come from all over the world just to be able to see that. And the town itself is very nice to walk around, even at night, very safe as well. So that's kind of going to be pretty much the end of your tour. Your day 10 is going to be a departure day, so you'll be able to leave at any time. You can even book a few extra days in Santiago de Compostela to rest up your feet, maybe get a foot massage if you really want to after all that walking. Like I said, the walking itself isn't too difficult. The only thing that is that you are doing it for 6 days back to back to back to back to back. So it is a lot, but it's pretty good. Here is the map that I had mentioned of the second tour, the second option, which is from Sarria to Santiago de Compostela. So what I would say is do whatever works best for your time and your flights too. So Santiago de Compostela does have an airport. Sarria does not. So the closest airport to Sarria would be Santiago de Compostela, and it's about an hour and a half drive. So G Adventures does offer arrival transfers. Dave can also help you with that as well. Or you can just book the trip that starts in Madrid because we know there's an international airport in Madrid and you get to extend your trip by a few days in an amazing city. Along with G Adventures, we do give you these little passport books. So along the way, you will be able to stamp these books just to say that, yes, I've been walking. Yes, I stopped at all these places. At the end of the tour, you actually do get a certificate. And the only rules around being able to get this certificate is you have to have at least 5 stamps in your passport. So just keep in mind, and this is not your travel passport that you're using to leave Canada and go into Spain. This is a special Santiago de Compostela passport that G Adventures will give you at the start of your tour. So please don't stamp your real passport, but definitely stamp your walking Camino passport. And then the local guide will take care of getting that certificate for you at the end of the tour. So you might be thinking, okay, now I'm walking for all these days. What do I pack? How do I carry it and all that? Don't worry, you do not have to carry your luggage with you. So G Adventures does have the transfer service that we will take the luggage from the first hotel and we'll bring it over to the second hotel. So once you arrive there on foot, it'll already be waiting for you. The only thing that you yourself need to carry is whatever you need on hand for the day. So sunscreen, camera, money, some maybe extra layers if it gets hot or cold to be able to take them on and off, things like that. So, packing list, we're not going to go through this whole thing here, but definitely be prepared for all weather, all temperatures. I went in July, which you might think, oh my gosh, Spain in July, are you crazy? It's hot. It wasn't that bad actually, because you're in the north of Spain. You're not in those main southern cities. That I think at most it was 23 degrees during the day for us. And then in the mornings, the lowest it went was about 13. So you do still want some layers for the morning. Just to kind of give you an idea. Of course, if you're going in August or September, it might be a little bit warmer during the day. But again, because it's the north and you have that breeze from being on the coast, it is not too bad. Definitely some good hiking shoes, hiking boots that you're comfortable with that are broken in. I highly recommend hiking pants, any moisture wicking shirts, clothes like that, you can. Walking poles, completely up to you. If you want them, you can definitely bring them. It was kind of 50-50 with our group. I don't usually hike with poles, so I didn't bring them. People who do usually hike with poles did bring them. So completely up to you when it comes to that. And then, of course, a rain jacket because you never know what can happen. So, if you're thinking of reading about Spain or watching something before you go on this amazing Camino tour, we do have some book suggestions here that you can definitely have a look at. And then if you're more into movies or documentaries, you can definitely watch The Way. So The Way is all about the Camino de Santiago. This group of people do the entire Camino. So really, we're only doing, as I had mentioned, the last 110 kilometers or so. So you can watch the whole movie, or you can always skip towards the end if you really want to see what you're about to do. But it does give you a good sense of what to expect. Now, on that, I also want to touch on the Great Adventure Sale, which is on currently right now. So it is running until January 31st, 2025. If you do want to go on a G Adventures tour, if you want to go on the Camino, please reach out to Dave. He'll be able to hook you up with some great deals that are part of the Great Adventure Sale. So it is up to 25% off select tours. I know it says select tours, but let me tell you that we have over 500 tours on sale right now. So the chances of the one that you want being on sale are pretty high right now. So we do have some feature destinations like Argentina, Croatia, Cuba, Egypt, Iceland, India, Indonesia, and a whole lot more. So we can definitely look at that. And that's going to be for travel before December 15th, 2025. Few highlight tours just to kind of give you an idea, a little taste of what to expect. We have first off our bread and butter, Peru. So we are the #1 tour operators in Peru, especially on the Inca Trail. This one here, I absolutely love this itinerary because it is 12 days. It's called Amazon to the Andes. It does hit all the major highlights that you want. Like you get to go to Cusco, you get to see Machu Picchu, you get to go to Ollantaytambo, Aguas Calientes, and of course you get to do the Inca Trail on this one. But on top of all that, you even get to spend 2 nights in the Amazon jungle. So this one I find is kind of a really well-rounded taste of Peru because you're getting a little bit of everything. You're getting a bit of history, of culture, and then of course of the beautiful nature that they have to offer. Now, if you don't want to do the Inca Trail, if you say, you know what, 4 days hiking and camping is not really for me. We have some other options. So you can either swap out those 4 days with 3 days of hiking and camping on the Laris Trek, or you can stay at a hotel in Cusco for those days and then join up again with the group after. Or you can even choose a different itinerary that doesn't include the Inca Trail at all. So it all depends on what works best for you. And Dave is going to be the best person to be able to talk to you about that and put you on the right tour and the right path. So this one here is currently 25% off. So these are amazing savings.
Absolutely.
Next up, I like this one a lot. It has been on my bucket list forever. My friend just did it and I'm very jealous. It is Sri Lanka and the Maldives adventure. So this is 14 days from Negombo to Male. And what I like about this one is it really is 50-50. So you get to spend half the time in Sri Lanka exploring the nature, the culture, the tea plantations, the different food, the coast. And then at the end, you get to finish it off on a traditional Doni boat exploring the Maldives. You get to go snorkeling multiple times a day. You get to go in these pristine blue waters and you get to kind of just relax after a week of adventure in Sri Lanka. So this one here is also 25% off currently and very, very adventurous. Another one that I really like is the Japan Express. You'll have to ask Dave how his biking in Japan went. But this one here is 9 days, Osaka to Tokyo. You also get to go to Hiroshima, which I think is a very important place to visit. It was very humbling when I was there, but very eye-opening as well. And you can see kind of how the people are happy with their history, but they want to move on from it and kind of show that they are happy people, that they're positive people and everything like that. So kind of really cool experience to have. And what I also like about this itinerary is that it does go to Mount Fuji. So you get to go to Fuji 5 and really be able to see it in all its splendor, of course, in good temperature. But you also get to do overnight in a mountain temple. You get to go to Miyajima Island, which is really cool, and see the Fushimi Inari Shrine. So that's kind of the shrine that's in the middle of the water. As the tide goes in and out, you can walk up to it if you even can. And then also it includes a boat ride on the lake. So this one here is currently 17% off. Another one we have that Dave had mentioned he's seeing a lot of interest for is our Norway fjord hiking. So the image that you see here is called Trolltunga, which is tongue of the troll, and that is honestly probably my number one bucket list hike because you really get to stand on top there and have these amazing, stunning views all around you. Hopefully, you're not too scared of heights. But this one here is from our active collection. So it is really getting moving. You're definitely going to need your hiking boots for this one. It is no easy walk in the park like the Camino de Santiago. This one's really going up mountains and stuff. So you get to hike and climb the Via Ferrata. So again, I had already mentioned Trolltunga. You even get a guided glacier hike, which is super cool. And they'll take you on with crampons, so you don't have to bring your own. And of course, a lot of other hikes and free time while you're there. So if you like hiking and you like nature, this one's definitely a great option. And for the Great Adventure Sale, it is currently 10% off. Another one we have here is highlights of Ireland. So Ireland's pretty hot right now. A lot of people want to go. I know when I'm scrolling Instagram, all I see is these amazing videos and pictures of Ireland. And I'm like, okay, I need to go there sooner than I thought. So this one here is our 9 days Dublin to Belfast, highlights of Ireland. And you do get to go kind of all around the island, which is nice. You get to go visit the Cliffs of Moher. You get to walk along the Wild Atlantic Way. So again, this one is a classic tour, not active. So when we say walk, it's might be just be for an hour or two in an area. It's not an entire walking trip. You get to visit the Ring of Kerry, so really cool drive to be able to do. Giant's Causeway visit, and then of course we're going to end that with a distillery tour. And along the way, I'm sure you'll have a lot of Guinness and other beers. Next up, we have the Deluxe Collection. So I'll talk a little bit about the Deluxe Collection because this is an exclusive offer that you cannot find online. You can only get it if you are booking through Dave. So definitely keep in mind when you're looking at the Deluxe Collection. So what it is our premium active tours. These tours are made for people who want to still be active in destination, but retire to more comfortable accommodations at the end of the day. There's more inclusions. You have expert CEOs, which, if you remember, those are our local guides, and you have tipping included as well. You have more meals included too. So altogether, it is really a great experience. I know I was able to do the Northern Morocco Deluxe, and it really was stunning. Two key features for our Deluxe collection is your OMG stay and your OMG day. So for your OMG day, you're going to have a choice between two optional activities, and whichever one you choose will be included in the itinerary for you. So it's not something that you have to pay extra for or anything like that, but you get to choose which one you want to do. So you kind of get to customize it a little bit in destination as you wish. And then your OMG stay is going to be an accommodation for at least 2 nights that's really going to wow you. That's really going to make you want to stay at that accommodation to kind of soak it all in while you're there. So for this exclusive offer, as I had mentioned, you can only get it through Dave. You can't get it online. So it is 10 to 15% off most of the deluxe collection. You have until the end of this month to book it, so until January 31st, 2025, and you have to travel before October 15, 2025. I'll tell you right now that the deluxe collection is still pretty new, so it rarely goes on sale. So now, honestly, is an amazing time to book to get those savings. So if we are looking at the deluxe collections, we currently have 54 trips in 32 different countries, and you can see what it includes on here are some of the destinations that it includes. Some key feature ones here would be Morocco. That's our number one bestseller currently. South Africa would be a very close second. So very great activities to be had in South Africa on our deluxe collection. Some of them even include some bike riding. So really cool. Vietnam is also another popular one. Ecuador is also quite popular, and Japan as well. I know we had spoken about Japan earlier. So just to name a few of them, but we do have quite a bit in our deluxe collection. This one tends to bring in people that are 40s and above, just to kind of give you an idea, but it is adults only. So minimum age for this is 18 years old. Now, to give you an idea of some of those activities that could be included on your OMG day, you have canyoneering in Costa Rica, you have a walking safari in Zimbabwe, wine tasting in Italy, or even hiking in Morocco. I know you'll find me and Dave at the wine tasting.
Duh.
Also, for your OMG stay, just to again give you some ideas of some of the places that you might be staying, we have Rio Celeste Hideaway in Costa Rica. So, really cool jungle lodges there. Mr. and Mrs. White in Greece. We have a beautiful hacienda in Mexico, and we have a Natura resort in Vietnam. So, again, these places, I'm like, usually when I'm traveling, I'm like, okay, show me the destination, get me out of the hotel. But these ones, I'm like, oh, I think I want to stay at the hotel a little bit. And to give you a couple of options here, we have our Croatia walking and island hopping along the Dalmatian coast, which is currently 15% off with that exclusive offer with Dave. So this is 9 days Dubrovnik to Trogir. I absolutely love Croatia. I had such an amazing time there, especially visiting all the different islands. They kind of all have something different to offer. If you love seafood, this is definitely a great place. And also, you get to end in Dubrovnik. So if you're a big Game of Thrones fan, you know that a lot of it was filmed there. We even get to do some kayaking in the waters and taking some boats along the way because of the island hopping portion of it. And because it is deluxe, a little bit more active, you do still have some hiking included in there. And then, as I had mentioned, that kayaking as well. And you get to have a full day excursion by private boat to Pekleni Island. So another really cool place to visit. I loved it when I was there. Another big one we have is Portugal. So Portugal is so hot right now, and I think it's probably going to be for a while. But what I really like about this itinerary compared to our other itineraries kind of stay along the coast, whereas this one really goes into the Douro Valley. So it goes into the wine region. So not only are you doing a lot of hiking on this one, you're doing a lot of wine tasting, you're visiting local wineries, you get to have food and wine pairings, you have an e-bike tour, you get to go from village to village. So you're meeting local people along the way. You're hiking past vineyards as well, so you can see exactly where all your wine is coming from. And this one here is 8 days Lisbon to Porto. Now, if you think that, you already have about what, five, six hikes included in here, if you want another one, we have a 10-day version of this that does include it. That does extend it and includes a few extra days near Lisbon to do more hiking. So this one here is also currently 10% off with that exclusive offer with Dave. So if you do have any questions at all, either about the Camino de Santiago, which we just spent a lot of great time talking about, or of the Great Adventure Sale or that exclusive deluxe offer, please reach out to Dave. He'll be more than happy to help you at dw@destinationwhatever.com.
That's me. Absolutely. And you can, of course, reach out on my website, destinationwhatever.com, and we can do you can book a Zoom request. You can get in touch with me. One thing I like about G Adventures and helping people out with G Adventures, and I normally don't talk about behind the scene details, but, G Adventures and travel agents, we have a wonderful marriage. It's a great relationship. wonderful booking system. So I'm able to help people that, if you've got your bags packed and you're on your way to the airport, we can get you booked lickety split. If you want to put something on hold, maybe you need a day or two to think it over, get your vacation paperwork stamped off. We can do that as well too. And those are, no commitments. You don't have to worry about it if it doesn't work out. But yeah, just get in touch. You can put it on hold and see where it goes. So we got a lot of great options if you want the post, if you want to arrive early, stay late, like Hillary was talking about. I can help you out with all of that as well too for no additional service fee. So it's just why I say we have such a wonderful relationship. Thank you so much, Hillary, for taking us on the Camino. I was wondering if you could describe the Camino as a vibe. How would you describe it?
Ooh. The thing is, it's different for everybody. So for me,
Mm.
like I would say chill, but for other people, they would say absolutely no chill. Because I'm used to doing like very big hikes and things like that. So this one, literally, I would say like a nice walk in the park, but other people would
Right.
say very difficult. So
And the hum of the nature and the small
yeah,
villages while you're out there, that sort of thing.
peaceful.
Very
Yeah.
peaceful, very tranquil. And I think that's what allows you to clear your mind. And whether you're going into this for religious reasons or well-being or whatever your motive, we can all stand from that. What did you do for water throughout the day to keep hydrated on your walks?
Didn't we say that wine was cheaper than water?
Oh, I see. But
No, you
you
do.
carrying a water bottle with you and able to fill that thing up? Like, how are you managing?
Exactly. So you do bring a reusable water bottle with you. And then along the way, if you do need more water, then every place that you stop for wine or for snacks or for
Right.
coffee, you can always purchase more water. But there's also along the way places to specifically refill your water bottles.
Perfect. And again, you can fill that with red, white, H2O, whatever you need to do.
Whatever makes you happy.
And one final question, Hillary. What made you want to do it?
I'm a very active person. I love being out in nature, just surrounded by it. So it kind of was something that was calling to me, but also because it's just such a known walk. And again, you end up at Santiago de Compostela at the big cathedral at the end. So there is a really big sense of accomplishment as well, knowing that, my two legs brought me 110 kilometers to get to this final destination. And it really is a beautiful place to end at. So everything was kind of calling my name.
Oh, I just love hearing that. I just love hearing that. Well, folks, if you're out there in at home and you're listening to tonight's presentation and you've made it this far, definitely be thinking about this, especially if you're a first timer into the world of walking holidays, or if you are a seasoned walking holiday lover and maybe you haven't made your way to the Camino. This really is welcoming to all types of people. Lots of departures throughout the year, so this is a great time with the sales that Hillary was talking about for setting it up for spring or summer or fall. You're absolutely right that the temperatures, I was in northern Spain as well in the summer, and it was just so green and lush, and the cool temperature off the ocean. It reminded me of being out in Atlantic Canada. I just loved it. So, and just keep in mind as well, we've got an option that can start you in Madrid, and through G Adventures, it hooks you up with the rail up to Sarria, and then you can get on the trail, or we can book it to start in Sarria. I'm able to help with all Renfe ticketing. So if you need a ticket, a rail ticket in Spain, maybe you want to go to Barcelona and then take the train over to Sarria and get going with the adventure, we can do that. So just reach out and talk. But Hillary, thank you so much for being here. And before we go tonight, I'll just let our audience know that we have two upcoming travel talks. January 27th, I'm going to be here with Helene Haw, who I went to the Galapagos with. And we're going to be doing a presentation, which I've never done. I've never been on the horn with another travel agent. And we're just going to yak like two yentas about our trip down to the Galapagos and talk to you about what we did day to day, what we loved. There was nothing we hated, what the ship was like, what we got to experience in the Galapagos, and maybe what you could experience in the Galapagos. Hillary, I know you love the Galapagos, so that's a great destination. And then on February 10th, I have Jonathan Sargent here from Royal Irish Tours. He is a native Dubliner. He's a former executive with Tourism Ireland. He knows all sorts of stuff about Ireland. Hilary, you were saying how hot Ireland is at the moment. So circle those dates on the calendar, folks, and you can get the details and RSVP for the Zoom link on my website, destinationwhatever.com. Whatever you need, it's there. It's on destinationwhatever.com. But for now, Hilary, once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and I hope to see you at the next time. Adios.
Thank you for watching. This has been a Destination Whatever travel production. Subscribe for all my content. Facebook at Destination Whatever, Instagram at destinationwhatever.travel, and YouTube at Destination Whatever. Or head on over to my website, destinationwhatever.com. I'm your #1 travel expert, helping travelers nationwide explore the world. So get in touch and let's make your travel fantasies come true.